weekend in Vietnam.
Yeah, Monday.
Yes.
Yes. Nice. And we also have Yvonne. Hello.
Hello, Kate.
Hi, Kate. Yeah. Thanks. How are you today, Yvonne? Nice Monday.
Yes, I'm very well. It's a sunny day today.
Good. Cool. So I'll just introduce you guys to our session today. We're going to be talking a little bit about smartphone and gadget tech, but it's sort of combined with religion today. We're going to see a short video about a way that churches are sort of trying to connect with their people. So we'll warm up first. We'll just talk a little bit about religion in our countries, just sort of socially, generally. Then we'll look to this video and we'll sort of see what is happening with it and who likes it and why. And we'll just, at the end, have a short conversation about if we think this is a great method or what could go wrong or what we think if we would use it right now. So let's start with our warm-up here. So we'll just have a little introduction, like I'm Kate from Canada. And I'm an English teacher, I'm 31. And I'm curious about sort of religion. Like, is it normal for you to go to church? Is it not? Like, I'm christened, so I come from an Anglican, English, Christian background, but I don't go to church. I'm not religious. So I'm Christian, but I'm not religious. So I go to have Christmas and things like that, but I don't go to church. How about you, Yvonne?
Yes. What's your question, please?
Okay. First, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do?
Okay, I am Ivan. I am from Slovakia. I live in a little town. I am a programmer. I programming software for petrol pipes, geographic information systems.
Cool.
My hobbies is sports, museum, sometimes art.
And are you religious?
No, I'm not. But I like Buddhism. Sometimes I read some books about it, but I not believe.
Yeah. It's more for like philosophy or interest.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And some people make a sort of distinction between like they're not religious, but they're spiritual. Would you call yourself spiritual or?
Oh, I don't know. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I more believe science.
Nice. Okay. How about you, Trung? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I know it's a big
Yes.
to start with, but are you religious?
My name is Trung. I'm from Vietnam. Now I live in Ho Chi Minh City. I'm 32 years old. I have one son. My son is now nearly 2 years old. And I'm not a religion. Religion is mean you belong in like Jesus or the Buddhist. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I guess in Vietnam, is it popular like Christianity and Buddhism?
Yeah.
Maybe the most popular.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not religion.
And you can say so religion is the like faith, let's say, and then religious is the adjective. So I'm not religious.
I'm not religious.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So just to say, like, we are all not religious. So it'll be kind of interesting to see this app. And we'll see if we think it's a good idea. Like, even if it's for other things, like it could be different organizations as well. But we'll sort of see how the church is trying to change a little bit and adopt new technology. I'm going to show you guys this video now. We'll get started with it just so we can see what's happening here. Okay. So we have a very, I don't know, young guy here. He looks pretty professional. And we can already see the title. There's a church smartphone app. So just to continue this idea, before we see what they're going to tell us, like, what do you think is in the app? So my question is, like, what can, for example, what can a church smartphone app do you think? What do you think, Yvonne?
Repeat me, please, your question.
Sure, yeah. And I'll give you an example as well. Like, what do you think the church smartphone app, the application, like, what do you think it can do? For example, I think it probably has, like, the Bible on it. So people can read the Bible on their phone.
This application can get some new information about church meeting.
Nice.
Example.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. And Trung, what do you think the app can do?
I think it's application to connect everybody in a same religions.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes, and I
it's
think
like a
they
Facebook.
also to maybe share the information in some church.
Did you say sell information?
If
Or just like
show.
show information? Yeah, gotcha.
Yes.
That would be an interesting part of the app. If they could sell things, they could monetize it. It'd be maybe quite popular. Okay, so we're going to take a look now at the video. I'm going to play the whole thing, and I just want you guys to look and listen for some general part of the app. Like, for example, who uses it? So let's just see it first, and then we'll review some of those parts.
If you talk to our churches, you know, they will have everybody expecting the church to be online. Have lots of old people that will ask, why is the website not updated? Or how can I find it through my smartphone?
Okay. What did you hear, Yvonne? Did you hear that old people are asking or young people are asking these questions?
Everybody, old and young people too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also he says just you'll have lots of old people that will ask, why is the website not updated? So that's kind of a funny, I don't know, message for me, because usually the idea is like old people are not interested in apps, sort of, but it's kind of changing. So we can see a little bit of a change. Like, this church is trying to be different. Trung, did you hear anything else about the app? Like, for example, how will it change other churches?
I hear information about it's app he have with the problem with the old people.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty interesting. You can see that this app is, we could say, outreaching.
outreach.
To old people. So we can see it's kind of like targeting, it's kind of like including, reaching, outreach. So they're trying to get old people connected. Okay, I'm just going to play it one more time. I'll ask you guys if there are any questions with vocabulary or something that's confusing. Here it is one more time.
If you talk to our churches, you know, they will have everybody expecting the church to be online. Have lots of old people that will ask, why is the website not updated? Or how can I find it through my smartphone?
Okay. Is there vocabulary or anything confusing in this video?
Yes, I think I understand a little of this lesson about, because now everybody do application instead of the website. That reason he answer the old people asking why the information not show in the website, why they is show on the application. Because now everybody use application is convenient for the smartphone. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point, Drang. Like, yeah, I don't want to go to the website. I just want to see it on my app and have it ready and updated.
Yes, I think with application which have difficult for our people, because not all people was in using application yet. If they know they just using the website, it's easy for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Well, what do you think, Yvonne, about old people using apps in general?
Sorry.
What do you think about old people using apps? Do you think they like it, or like apps, like applications?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
It's okay. What do you think first? What do you think about old people using apps? Like, do you think they like it, or do you think they're not very good about it, or old people and technology?
For example, my father
My father likes
new technology and application on smartphone. It's your hobby.
his hobby. That's nice. Wow.
Yes. Oh.
What do you think, Trung? Like with your parents, do they use apps or?
Oh, yeah. My father and my mother is my parents. They don't using the application and they don't know a smartphone. They just using the phone for calling, and even they don't know how to test the message.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask, like, how old are your parents? My parents are like 60.
Oh yeah. I think my parents is over 60. Yes, that reason they don't know. And sometimes when I call them and they don't, they have problem with the answer. They press some key and they don't listen, and they told the phone have problem. Yes.
I see. Oh no. Oh, okay. And go ahead, Yvonne. Like you said, that your father is interested in apps, though. He sounds quite tech savvy. Sorry, Yvonne. I just used this phrase, tech savvy. It sounds like your dad is tech savvy. Like he is good at using technology. Hey, Yvonne, are you there?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
So your dad is good at using technology. He likes it, right? He enjoys learning about it as well, or?
He is a programmer too. He make programs for aeroplanes and airports.
I see. Yeah. So we have quite different parents all around. So let's go on to this idea of like the church going online or the church going into tech. And we'll talk generally about it, and we'll get a little bit more specific as well. So we saw from the video, it's a church app, okay? We saw that there's going to be updated information. We saw that hopefully old people will use it, they mentioned. What do you guys think? Like, is this going to help the church or hurt the church? For example, what I think is that maybe it can help people who are already part of the church, but I don't know if it will like attract new members. I'm not totally sure. Maybe it'll be easier, or more fun, but I'm not totally sure. Trang, what do you think about this idea, the church going online or going into apps? Will it help it or hurt it?
Yes, because I love in technology and I love application. I also do some application for myself in my business, and when I just discover what application is using, and I see the church application for everybody using they can get the 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 sermon.
Yes, the sermon. That's right. You
Yes,
got it.
and can read the Bible.
Yeah, read the Bible. Yeah.
Or listening and register for event in the church. And I think with the application, the church will give a lot of information in them for everybody know. And I think it's a good way for the people in the same religions. And
Nice.
I think it's a good way because now it technology it for the technology life, and everybody, especially in the young people, using the application and smartphone, and with the application they can relay information with the bad. I think the quickly time. If, for example, when your application, and if they have information and they will inform to you, not like a website. Website you have to visit and we have to search them. But application, when you register and you download, and if they have enough information and they notify. Yes.
Exactly. Notifications, they notify you. It's a lot more active
Yeah, it's
than
a
a
good.
website. A really good point. Nice. So Yvonne, Trung was just saying that like apps are much more active, interactive, and that can help. What do you think?
I think for Church House is a good application. For example, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook help connect between people and shows new information. For example, about meeting.
Yeah.
And Facebook can share videos from praise.
You could say prayers. So prayers. They pray is you got pray right, but that's the verb. So they pray, and then prayers is the noun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Prayers.
Yeah, they can live stream the sermon.
Yeah. I want to share something with Evan. Because as when say they can using the Facebook like share information, and they because now everybody is easy to using Facebook, but I think they make their application because they don't want to belong in the other application. They want to their own application. Yes.
What do you think about that, Ivan? That they don't want to be on Facebook. They want to have like a private app.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah. Trung was just mentioning a little difference between using Facebook and having a private app, that people are trying to move away from Facebook these days. They're trying to move into their own sort of private space. Have you noticed that as well, or what do you think about that? Like sort of a rejection of using Facebook?
I don't understand you exactly, sorry.
No problem. I'm just going to help you out here. So Trung mentioned that people can use Facebook, because you were mentioning that, but they don't now. They want to make their own apps. So we're talking a little bit about how people are moving away from Facebook and they're trying to create their own applications. Do you understand?
Yes, make own apps is very expensive, and Facebook is very cheap, free for use for everybody.
Is there any downside to using Facebook? Is there any downside? Meaning, like, is there any negative or con, you can also say, to using Facebook?
Facebook is, if you choose positive information on Facebook, Facebook is very positive. It's you can choose what do you want on Facebook.
Yeah, and is there any negative? Is there any downside?
What is mean downside?
Yeah, so that's like the negative, like the bad thing. You mentioned like the nice positive things, the good things. I'm just curious, are there any bad things about using Facebook? Let's ask Trung. What do you think, Trung? Like, are there any downsides to using Facebook, or why might people not want to use it?
I think Facebook is a big thing, and it's a good application for everybody to connect people on the world. But I think with some church or some organized, they don't want to depend a lot of in the Facebook or using, because in Facebook they have, if it's depend on the Facebook and all information in it's depend on Facebook, and they not control their business, and that reason they don't want to do in Facebook. I know Facebook have on a feature like they need, but they want to their own Facebook because they don't want to depend on this, because it's their own business or their own yes, organized.
Yeah, exactly. Organism. No, organization. Sorry.
Yeah, organized.
I kept thinking organism, but it's organized.
Yes. I know Facebook.
Yes.
I think Facebook is a biscuit application now, and everybody like Vietnam. I think 90% people using Facebook for connecting with everybody, and a lot of people using Facebook a lot. Yes.
And that sort of, I totally agree with you. Like, it sort of makes me think, like, also, like, if you're trying to just be not on Facebook, like, you can use your church app, for example, and then you can be like, oh yeah, like, I'm not on Facebook, I'm sort of taking a break, but I'm using my church app, just sort of the same thing. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and any other ideas, Ilan, of like why the church might want to make its own app? Like, is there any other advantage of having your own app?
I think own apps is very expensive. It is not a good idea. Have own apps. or mall, church house.
Okay. And I mean, it is the church, so I don't think money is a problem.
Yes, maybe. Mhm.
So other than cost, like for sure, it's definitely expensive to develop your own app. But why might the church want to have sort of like, let's talk about a little bit about property? They kind of own that property. Is that helpful in any way if you own the information in an app?
Mm.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just going to bring up the last thing. I'm sort of dancing around an idea with Facebook specifically. So we can talk about collecting personal information. So we're using Facebook. I think we can all agree that, not all of our information is totally secure. So I'm thinking about if you wanted to use a church app, and I'm also thinking about like sort of confessions, when you say the things that you've done that are bad, for example. So maybe you want to have more control over like the privacy of the app, or you want to have more control over like the people, like the information you're collecting about people, their names, their ages, their addresses. Like, I don't know, maybe you don't want to share that information. So that's the thing I think about when people want to have their own apps, is that they just want to have more control over the private information, and then they can do whatever they want with it. But with Facebook, they'll sell our information, or they might make some money from it. So maybe that goes against what the church wants, I guess. What do you guys think about? Any comments?
Yes.
If you have a church house, some secrets is of an application. Very good idea.
So what do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, myself, I also have some application. In my application is about streaming, live stream, and I know Facebook also and YouTube now they also have the application for streaming or live stream, but I don't want to depend on them of them, and I make the our application for me, and now because I think nowadays the cost for make the application not too much, just I think some $100, and you can use some application, and it depend on your idea and your thinking, and you have to now. I'm very interesting. I'm very excited when I have application, and in the past I also to make a lot of website, but now when the application is popular, and I have to also to do application. Yes.
Nice. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes.
Cool, guys. So just to finish up here, we've been talking kind of about two things, because we were talking about religion, but also technology and how those things have combined. There's a crossover. So we saw that this app is sort of reaching out to old people as well. We can see that they're asking about, oh, why isn't the website updated? Oh, we better check the app. Okay, that's new. We thought about how the app might help us. And also I use some terms like tech savvy and outreach and notifications and praying, and all of those things that we can do on an app. And nice job, guys, giving your opinions about that and pointing out some really interesting ideas. So thanks. I'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.